Or do you think that what you've gone through is very different from most people?
I don't know anybody that's going through the same thing I'm going through. Well, it may start off the same, but it's not. Like, their family couldn't pay their bill, and they had got removed from their house, and they had to take what they could pack in like small bags. And this was when I was on Monsignor Street, and it was actually my brother's friend, and he slept outside of the school, and he had nowhere to go, so he had slept on the school steps because he had no house and no family in Philly. My school gave him a uniform the next day, and he attended to school every day from that. Like, he actually found an abandoned house and he lived there. He may have not washed up every day, but at least he went to school knowing that he doesn't have to stay home.
I know a lot of people that go through like even worse situations than mine, like even grittier situations. Like, my situation is bad. There's like even worse. Like, my situation is bad, but at least my mom kept her kids. Like, I've been going through it since I came out of it, but like the other people have lost their kids. Like, they can't see their kids no more. And I know a lot of moms and dads that act like it's like okay that they kids and they ain't even trying to get them back. It's like people are going through way worse situations.
I know, Isaiah, and I think, Jaylee, you also made reference to this, that moving from place to place too frequently, going from one house to the next, it impacts you in a lot of different ways. Can you just share with us, I imagine that there's probably some educational consequences to, or just how has that impacted how you become who you are?
When I moved from Sydenham Street, it was during the summertime, so like I didn't miss any school. But when I was in foster care, when I had moved from home to home, it impacted me a lot on my education. I never got held back, but it's like I would move somewhere and I would be there for about a week trying to start school. And then I would end up moving as soon as I start school, like the first day, and then I wouldn't go the next day. I would have to move into another school because I had to move the house.
Isaiah, you want to respond?
I have like been moving since I was little. So like during the time I was supposed to be learning how to read and write, I was moving from shelter to shelter, living in every borough of New York. So I never like got to sit down in one place and learn that. So like my reading and writing skills are really bad. Like my spelling skills and all that situation. I never got to, I always had to meet new friends and meet new people before I can actually get the work done. Because I had to stay safe. But stuff like that.
So I want to transition this conversation so we look at it from a different perspective now. So we're going to ask our Quincy Daniels if he would just talk to us. And first, I'd like for you to define gentrification, and then if you could respond to, from your perspective, identify what you see happening in the community.
So, gentrification. You ask anybody, there's a lot of different answers for that, what that means. So the quick answer is that you have more people who are more affluent move into, or people who have a higher income move into a space where it's a lower income, and as a result of that, those who are lower income get pushed out. Another answer is that you begin to look at the racial demographics and what's happened to African Americans historically. So when you look at the idea of gentry, and that's always this more wealthy class, when you're looking at African Americans and the fact that, or low-income individuals in addition to African Americans, the inability to own capital, own your space, you're able to be easily pushed out. And so, the idea of gentrification and the transitioning of spaces, it's not something that is necessary, it's not something that has to happen, but it is a condition that exists as spaces deemed that those that are there don't make enough money to support the economy that they're trying to create. And so in order to do that, they promote the influx of folks who can provide that. So if I have folks who are low income living in an environment that they don't make enough money to support the taxes or to support the quality of retail, or because the housing is not providing the tax base that we need, then those folks need to be pushed out so that others can come in who will meet that requirement. And in terms of what I've seen, so I've been living here in North Philadelphia for about 3 years, but I've seen this happening all over the country. I'm originally from Asbury Park, New Jersey, and gentrification happened there as well. My parents owned they had a business, or have a business currently, in downtown Asbury. And the way Asbury Park looked back all the way up until about 1997 was like North Philadelphia. It was rife with all the challenges that we see in any urban area, particularly African American and brown communities. However, now you go back and I feel, like I'm a visitor in the place where I grew up. I was recently asked for my ID to enter the building my parents have been occupying for the last 30 years. Somebody clearly who was not from there. I was recently stopped for driving while black in a town that's predominantly black by a police officer. When I asked him how long he lived there, he told me he'd been living or working in Asbury about 5 years. Like, wow, okay. And that's all because I came from an area that was, the area that I was located in was predominantly black. And since I was driving away, he assumed that I needed to be stopped because I was driving an SUV. I don't know, go figure. So when I'm here in North Philly and the things that I see like some real challenges, and I see like Philadelphia is going in that direction. So I've had a chance to see like what the end result is, and I hope that Philly doesn't have that end result because of the quality of culture that exists within Philadelphia. I see real tensions that exist between students and local residents. A lot of times I see it happens as a result of a lack of respect for the space that you're in. A belief that's also promoted sometimes based off of the stories that are told. Don't go over there because that area is not safe because, whatever criminal activity you can think of that may be, what's told, as opposed to seeing the humanity that exists in this space. So I've seen negatives, but at the same time, I've seen a lot of positive. I've seen a lot of humanity that exists in this space. And it's the quality of humanity that I wish that more people saw, because then you would recognize that there are people that actually live here, as opposed to these statistics that you've been told. For instance, I always love when the snow comes because that's when you see the true humanity come out. Folks get stuck in the snow, and you see people come from far and wide to help dig them out and get them, to ensure that you keep going. Keep going.
Okay. So, Judith, I know you've been in this community for a while, as you said, right? And so one of the things that Kwesi said that people move in and there's a lack of respect for the place you're in. And so if you were to answer this question, and you from someone who has seen transitions, so how do you, from your perspective, identify what you see happening in the community?
Well, I'm gonna go back to when I first started selling real estate in 1985. I had a good broker, Jack Felton. He liked to keep it real. He likes a bunch of jokes too. So he asked me, Judith, what is the golden rule? I've been born and raised as Hebrew Israelite, so I went to mine. Do unto others, you would have them do unto you. He said, Judith, the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. I said, okay, I'm clear. So fast forward, all the way to now, I am 60 years old. I can tell my age. I'm so happy to be alive to see gentrification in real time. From my life in Strawberry Mansion as a young girl whose mother had the sense to purchase in that area. We were looking for good kosher food, okay, in Strawberry Mansion, and we did find it. But we found a raggedy old house in Strawberry Mansion that I watched my mother build up over the years. What I see is a lack of respect for those folks like my mother, like Kwesi's family, who stuck to it over the long haul, purchased these raggedy buildings that were left to us. There was no home inspection in those days, and built them up and stayed here over the long haul. So Fairmont Park was my backyard as a child. So I knew I wasn't going to move too far away from Strawberry Mansion because I had so much fun there. I'm like, oh, this is a great place to be. I can live in a house and not have to mow a lawn. I'm staying here, let them go, you know. So what I see is that it's more of a disrespect for history. Anybody who knows that the Numerish lived in this neighborhood. And these old houses that we have are the ones they created. All the infrastructure is here, etc., etc. So I go back to my training as a real estate professional and I say, it's a lack of respect for the people who they sold homes to many years ago. And I see some of the same people wheeling and dealing now. It's so many issues. So I'll just put a pin in by saying it's more to this than a notion. I'm not going to be able to tell you all the stories over my many years of being in the real estate business or as a professional advocate who has gone downtown regarding many issues. We need to be respectful of humanity as we talk about increasing taxes, because that's what we come down to. I'll say this and then I'll hand it over to the next person. You have a 10-year tax abatement for developers coming into this community to build, but you have no abatement for the people who have been here forever. And I'm not talking about the homestead. I'm talking about abating taxes due, taxes owed. That's part of the solution.
So let me go back to, this is for Kwesi and for Judith. I mean, so we heard the experience, we heard Jayla and Isaiah talk about their experiences with housing, and we know that what they're saying is not an anomaly, right? I mean, I'm assuming that you agree with me on that, and so that's part of my question. Do you think then that this is, and we know that their story is not necessarily anything new, right? It may be new to North Philly because we're just starting this movement towards this change in housing. Correct me if I'm wrong. But do you think that it will be exacerbated at this point because of the impact of student housing and the impact of just the other types of gentrification that's taking place in our community?
Definitely. Emphatically, definitely. I mean, when you look at these stories, I want to touch on something that Judith has also said. The stories have always been here. So when you're talking about the stories of folks who have been who have been marginalized, those stories are there because of the conditions that you're having to deal with. My wife says, our challenges with gentrification are not that gentrification is happening or that we don't want development, is that I was living here 30, 40 years. I had to fight to get quality housing. I had to fight to get quality education. And now people are coming in and that infrastructure is being brought for them. Like that something is problematic. So we're talking about our folks saying, well, these folks that are living here, they're low income, they don't have enough money, they don't have enough, they can't contribute. And there are all these ills that exist in this space. But there's a failure to address the inherent problems that are creating these types of conditions. And so the belief is that, well, we're going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. If we have better quality housing, then we'll have better quality people, and we'll have higher quality money. And And so everything will be different. But the issues that were there will continue to be there. It's just that they're being pushed further out. So as the sister said, she had to go out to Norristown, and she's had to go to other parts of the city or outside the city in order to find housing. Well, that's going to, any challenges that she's dealing with, all the other folks that are dealing with those same challenges are going to be relocated to those same types of spaces. And the Federal Reserve recently did a report about people being relocated. They found that one of the problems with the relocation is that people are being placed in areas that it's actually worse than where they are. So like here, at least we have public transportation. Imagine if I'm being pushed out to the suburbs, if I'm being sent out to Norristown. For those who've driven it, it's not a nice drive. And there, chances of finding quality public housing, quality public transportation that's reliable, that if you have a job in the city that you can actually afford to get on, there are going to be some really exacerbating problems. So if these are the challenges folks are facing now, I'm scared of what will happen as we go 20, 30 years down the line.
Some people contend